Linus Tech Tips has published a 4-part series where he explains the journey towards Linux of him and his company. And I've seen the first part where everything is set up, but I still have to see part 2, 3, and 4 where they tell whether they're gonna stick to Linux or not. So I guess we'll do that, and it's gonna take hours.
But then the first week was full of so many unexpected highs and lows.
We knew there had to be another video.
This feels like we've had so many troubles that we had to make a video complaining about them, but hopefully it's not gonna be that, is it?
Yeah. Especially after the Linux community exploded.
Yeah.
After I picked Pop! OS again.
And while Luke and I seem to have been praised for our choices, I can tell you guys firsthand that it has not been a smooth ride for me.
Meanwhile, things were going so great for me, I decided to dip my toes even further, attempting some more complex tasks that I didn't expect to go super well, just to see what would happen.
And I ended up trying some other distros which addressed some of my issues with Pop! OS, but
This is an interesting selection, and by interesting, I mean, what the fuck is happening here? Switched from Pop! OS to SteamOS, the operating system that's not yet out for like any device, but only on the Steam Deck so far as I know at least. Best side, because again, why can't you pick a normal distribution and then Kubuntu? Which, yeah, I guess that's the closest to what I would recommend him. I am still very confused by these choices, but it's not Linus's fault, honestly.
But also ended up being frustrating in their own ways.
But what is even more frustrating is that they aren't letting me be the one.
It's a segue to our sponsor.
Threat Locker. Workplace success. Link down. I feel like I've got to start this by explaining my brain-dead choice of Pop! OS. It was amazing how many people got angry at me for picking the same distro that screwed me over last time. But if you guys...
Which, by the way, does not make any sense. Especially because the distro screwed him over last time due to a particular bug that has since then been fixed. So I really don't think that it makes much sense to say don't use Pop! OS because of the bug that's been fixed already. Although, yes, it still feels like a weird choice to pick Pop! OS, not because it's bad, but also it's still like in beta, I think.
Guys, remember, I actually used Manjaro last time after I was assured that the bug that I encountered when I was setting up Pop! OS was a one-time fluke, and then I got piled on for being so quick to abandon it. So this is me.
Yeah, this is the Linux community. Whatever you do, you're gonna get insults. Just ignore them, Linus. Try a few distros, but you've done that, so.
Putting aside my past experience, after seeing so many people, listicles, and chatbots that still recommend it, that willingness to try again is a good thing for Linux. I mean, if everybody bailed after one bad experience, there would be no distros left to try.
There wouldn't be anyone trying Linux, honestly. I've had my fair share of bad experiences with Linux on, I don't know, kind of old distros. Not as bad as the whole operating system gets destroyed when I try to install Discord, but still, I had some stuff.
Nothing is perfect, and unfortunately, that goes especially for Pop! OS. System 76 has spent the last couple of years hard at work on a new desktop environment, Cosmic, and it's been a challenge.
Linus, Cosmic is basically in beta. Don't you know that it's not ready yet?
No, I didn't. For one thing, where does it say that? The thing that I downloaded was called LTS, or long-term support. That's like the opposite of beta.
Yeah, which fair enough, although it's not. And I think Nate recently published a blog about this, but LTS is like long-term support, which means that we're gonna give you some software which is gonna receive bug fixes and support for an increased amount of years. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's ready yet. But yeah, I totally get your confusion. You're very much right there.
I would have had to journey to a random blog post from back in September of 2025 to discover that Cosmic is now in public beta. Number 2,
Yeah.
maybe this is a hot take, but maybe if System76, a commercial entity, not a random open source contributor, knows that it's not ready for prime time, instead of blaming me, we should probably blame the company that shipped it. And you know what? Yeah.
Completely fair, especially because, again, if you go and download Popeyes, it doesn't say, hey, warning, this is beta. It doesn't say that, so maybe it
I
should.
could have come across some of the Linux YouTube channels that have highlighted these issues, but a key element of the Linux challenge is highlighting that unless you know to ask the question, is this distro's desktop environment in beta? It can be hard for new Penguin curious users to find the right answers. So
Penguin curious, by the way, is such a beautiful term. I'm gonna use it.
as we keep going, it's important to think of the Linux challenge not as an attack on Linux, but as more of a pen test for how friendly it is to newbies.
My Bazite adventure
Totally fair, by the way.
started a bit better than Linus at first. But if you remember in part 1, I mounted my SMB share. I was shocked at how easy it was to find, because normally on Windows, I would have to type in the address bar and find it. Versus on Bazite, I just clicked on network and it found it right away. But I didn't realize that that wasn't mounting it. That was just creating a shortcut. This means my read and write permissions were all over the place, and I couldn't save some files to my network drive if I clicked on that shortcut. To solve this, I had to do some Googling, and I found out that I needed to modify my fstab file to point the network location to the MNT folder on my drive. So
That sounds pretty unintuitive. But to be honest, I don't get network folders at all, so just ignore me on this topic.
So I did that, but then I noticed that I had 2, both of which were still behaving like a shortcut. I tried at least a dozen different options in order to mount the share correctly, none of which ultimately succeeded, or should have even been necessary if you ask me. Opening context menus on icons, shortcuts, or applications is a great tool, and it seems like a big oversight on the Bazite team to not include a quick mount option that just works. Instead, I want to f-stab myself in the head.
Meanwhile, I was having a grand old time on Kashi, and since I felt more comfortable than the other 2 guys, I decided to get a little bit daring. I uninstalled my entire Cinnamon desktop environment on purpose to see if I would run into any challenges. It took about 20 minutes max before I was up and running with KDE Plasma, and my only issue was that I had to clean up some small things left over from Cinnamon, like a
Okay, so this is something that I did as well when I was starting out with Linux. Turns out I wouldn't really recommend it because, I mean, you can do it, especially if you know what you're doing, which you seem to are, but still the hassle of figuring out which packages to remove, which ones to install, and which configuration you have to change in order to properly switch from a desktop to another. And because it's not just the desktop itself, it's the whole theming system. You can end up with a, KDE Plasma, but with the GNOME style for some reason. So many ways this can go wrong, and I've been suggested when I was younger to not do that, and I should have listened to the older people. And yeah, just install the KDE Plasma variant right away. Don't try to change the desktop. I highly recommend against it. But you do know what you're doing, so maybe it was fine.
like an additional sound icon that was in the bottom tray because I had 2 sound icons and they could conflict and stuff, and that was honestly also really easy to do, so no big deal. As for my gaming adventures, my first real challenge in this Linux challenge was probably my own fault. I had read some stuff online saying that I could do it, but I think I was trying to be a little bit more optimistic than realistic. I had a Windows game drive previously that I just kind of left alone and tried to use on Linux, which means that it was formatted in NTFS. I just added it to my Steam library in Linux and tried to go. All my games showed up perfect and everything seemed fine at first. Some games even ran okay, but I started to notice some glitches, and even some games that I had freshly installed on that drive just wouldn't work. It would just, you click play and it just wouldn't launch sometimes. It turns out that while Linux can still use NTFS, and there's been some ongoing development to make it even smoother, even since we started this challenge, I can say in my experience, it was kind of rough, especially when used with Proton. Proton doesn't seem to like it, so in my opinion, if you want to play games off of an NTFS drive, just don't, at least not right now.
My gaming experiences were mostly smooth, with two major exceptions though. One of which I'm actually gonna save for the conclusion because it's kind of a spicy one, so make sure you get subscribed for that. But the other was actually the first game that I tried to fully play on Linux, Poppy Playtime Chapter 5. I wanted to stream it, but I was getting no audio and no picture, which is not ideal for a stream.
I do really wonder how whenever there's this kind of videos from Linus Tech Tips, there's always somebody who's isn't able to set up OBS properly, like should work out of the box, obviously. But it's so weird to me because I've done the same thing, I do the same things, and I never had such an issue. Why is OBS such a pain point? I'm just used to it working perfectly out of the box. I don't get it.
Oh no, are we not gonna be able to play? But then it suddenly just popped in and started working fine. I played it for a little while, and then the same thing happened again.
Look, all the friends are here. Isn't this amazing? Oh.
Well, it turns out that the pre-rendered cutscenes weren't working. Proton, which is the compatibility layer that allows non-native Linux titles to work on Linux, is missing proprietary licenses for H.264 and H.265 video codecs. What was the solution? A community fork called Proton GE, which thankfully was in the Bazite store. That's a pretty simple fix, but it's also one that highlights how unrealistic some Linux evangelists can be about the experience. No, in many cases, it doesn't just work out of the box.
This is true. I think that the Linux evangelists are so happy that it works to say that it works out of the box, because I mean, a few years ago, almost nothing worked, let alone out of the box, and now most games I feel like work out of the box. I never had any issue with any of the games that I played, except one where I had to change a single setting. So I would say that is miles ahead compared to what we were a few years ago, and I feel like the enthusiasm of that is getting into our heads, and now we're like, everything works out of the box, even though it doesn't. But I also wanted to say that this driver thing, sadly, like I wouldn't say it's really Linux fault. Sadly, many distributions can't really ship many drivers because legal reasons. There was a lot of drama a few years ago with like Fedora that was shipping a very important driver, and they were not meant to ship that, so they had to remove it. It's a bit of a mess, and that's like capitalism, not Linux.
And users who don't treat fixing their operating system as a hobby will be looking for someone to blame for this hassle. So is it Linux?
Capitalism.
Valve? Mob Entertainment? The user? Maybe all? Or, hear me out, none? It's easy to jump on the blame bandwagon and hate on some developers for not prioritizing Linux. But ask yourself this: if 50% of your customers were on Windows, and the other 48% are on Xbox and PlayStation, would you be stoked on hiring a fourth group of employees whose job it is to deal with the other 2%? Especially knowing that those 2% are not running one OS?
Yeah, totally fair. Of course, thanks God there's the Steam Deck now, which runs Linux, and hopefully that should help. But again, the problem here was the missing drivers, and I guess that Proton could have just shipped the drivers, but of course they couldn't because of legal reasons. So, yeah.
But are probably running
That's what I'm gonna blame here, honestly.
different flavors of OS? I mean, maybe you would, but it's more important to remember that just like the users, many companies don't treat fixing operating systems like a hobby. Okay, so then we...
By the way, this is completely unrelated, but I just keep... This wallpaper, it's called Flow. I just instantly recognize it. It's from KDE, obviously, and it's from the very first KDE wallpaper competition. Hopefully I'm correct here. And I also, like, it was either the first one or the second one. I don't remember, but like the first, I think it's the first one, where I was like, also a participant, so I also submitted my wallpaper, and then from that point onward I actually became a couple of times the judge for the wallpaper competition. So I don't know, I get excited when I see old KDE Plasma wallpapers and I go, ooh, I actually remember that. I actually had to judge it.
And we blame Valve. No, obviously not. It's super cool that they have put so much support into Proton, but the fact that they've paid so much already is not a good argument that they should just obviously pay even more for these commercial video codecs. The point I'm trying to make here is that
Yes, I guess they could have both the codecs, but you know, I think that would be a lot of money, like a lot. And users can just download them for free, so...
that enjoying the Linux experience requires
Still capitalism though, capitalism.
a no-blame mindset. Some stuff's gonna work, and some stuff won't. It's not anybody's fault. Everyone is doing their best.
So with that in mind, throw out what I said earlier, because I'm not mad at System 76. In fact, I left Pop! OS on my main desktop just for the lulz, and it mostly worked for most things. With that said, when it came time to install Linux on my other systems, I did opt for something different, starting with Bazzite on my home theater PC. It's just too bad the Linux curse followed me there as well. Bazzite has different versions of their installer, depending on the brand of your GPU and whether or not you want the SteamOS full screen experience. Well, I've got an NVIDIA GPU, and yeah, I want that experience. That's kind of the point of it on a home theater PC. So I picked this one. And let's put it this way. The Bazzite team feels that I should have known the one that I selected would result.
Seems install the game mode version of NVIDIA. Support is okay.
Result in
So apparently you cannot have big picture and NVIDIA at the same game mode version. Okay. Oh, there was a warning at least. It's something.
in a completely unusable experience. But to me, that's actually not that obvious. Coming from the Windows, Google, normie world, where a stable service like Gmail was labeled beta for 5 years, it's not that unreasonable to think that you can daily drive a beta and have a mostly functioning experience. In Linux, that's an expectation that needs to be completely thrown out the window. Here, beta seems to mean this is broken, and if you're not a developer, you should probably just download the LTS, which might also be beta. Haha! Clearly we've got to reach a middle ground here, and
Yeah, I think this is somewhat fair, although I would say that most beta programs in Linux that I've tried work just mostly fine with a few bugs, like Cosmic.
Bazzite seems to agree because they have updated the messaging on their site. Anyway, that happened later, so
It's incredible that every Linux Tech Tip videos that comes out, Linux distro manages to put more warning that what you're doing is gonna have serious consequences. Apparently that's the most likely outcome of a Linux video.
So, to get my system up and running, I ended up doing what many Linux people do and switching to a Radeon card, which was completely painless.
Why run Bazzite when I could just run SteamOS on the Steam machine that we built on this channel like a couple months ago? I can't believe I forgot about this thing. I've been meaning to install it.
I actually ended up throwing SteamOS on my home theater PC.
This mostly explains why he picked the distros that he picked, at least, so I'm less confused than that.
See,
Nice. Okay, is it a bit of a hack to just switch out your hardware? Yes, but also no, because a lot of Linux gamers would go out of their way to choose compatible hardware in the first place, so I'm pretending I did that. First, I want to see how well this integrates with my system here. Let's hit power toggle for the PC. No way. Did Valve seriously bake in support for this old Microsoft IR receiver?
which was child's play to get working, and it's been kind of awesome from the couch. Nothing
That's cool. I didn't know you could do that.
further to report there.
By the way, your camera is out of focus.
As for my laptop, I decided it was finally time to practice what I preach and go for good old-fashioned, trustworthy Ubuntu. Sort of. Kubuntu is actually Ubuntu, but with the KDE desktop environment. Which
I love that they are all going their way to out of their way to use KDE Plasma. That feels like a big win, with both KDE switching from Cinnamon to Plasma and Linus choosing Kubuntu instead of Ubuntu just to have KDE Plasma. This feels like great news for KDE Plasma. Now, of course, it also means that everybody that they're gonna find issues with it, but
which I find quite comfortable to navigate, sort of. I mean, first I have to get to the desktop, and day one was kind of terrible. After completing setup, it just black screened, and it sat there for hours. And I was like, come on, man, this is ridiculous. Then I came down in the morning and it was like Santa had visited, because it was magically sitting at the login screen, and it's been downright pretty solid ever since, with a
that's weird. And I don't know what else to say about this.
bit of a learning curve. For example, I did run into issues getting some applications to work due to downloading the wrong package. Debian packages, Snap packages, and Flash.
Yeah, which is of course the big issue with Ubuntu, because, and I hate this. Ubuntu now wants to force snaps onto you. So if you try to download something with apt, sometimes you're gonna get an apt package, sometimes you're actually going to get a snap. And that's insane to me. Like, why on earth? I know why on earth they would do that, and I hate that they did that. Capitalism again.
Flatpaks will all work on Kubuntu. But I figured, okay, well, Debian makes the most sense since Kubuntu is based on Debian. But then after I installed OBS, I realized I had no option to select the display that I wanted to screen capture. The solution? Use the Flatpak installer, apparently.
I'm guessing that you're on Wayland and that was the issue.
Okay, but where? The top result, as far as I can tell, doesn't convey that it's a Flatpak. Oh, right. I need to enable Flatpak search. Except that wasn't the solution either, because Wayland, which Kubuntu uses as part of its desktop environment, has a privacy thing built in that no likey screen capture. Now, it can
Yeah, that's why you need the Flatpak version, I think. I don't know how it is with apt and Snap right now. It should work. Why on earth isn't it working? But yeah, Wayland does make sure that you don't get communication between the application. I mean, it makes sure that not any application can randomly start recording your screen without your knowledge. You need a specific like bridge. I don't remember the technical name right now, sorry. Portal, I think it's Portal, for the application to ask permission to get your screen, which is super cool. And of course you need that implementation of the portal, which is certainly in the Flatpak version, should be in every version, I think, but usually I do go for the Flatpak one because it works out of the box.
Can be worked around, but threads like this one are a great example of how troubleshooting can often be a guess and check experience, because
to be clear, I can't speak apparently, but yeah, it should work out of the box even on Wayland. Right now, I'm on Wayland. I'm using OBS without any problem, and I just installed OBS with the system packages. And did I? Where did I install? Sorry, how did I? Because I'm also on Kubuntu, so which OBS? User bin OBS, so sudo apt list. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I used apt to get OBS, grep OBS. Yeah. Well, I don't see it right now, but I'm pretty sure. Flatpak list. Grep OBS. Yeah, no, I did use apt. So I installed OBS Studio with apt, and it worked out of the box, and I get screen capture through Pipewire, which is what uses the Wayland portal. It worked out of the box without any issue. I'm not even using the Flatpak version here, I think. So yeah, it should work. Of course, who knows what happened here.
because there are like 5 different
Yeah, capture screen Pipewire. You need to use this one.
solutions in here, and I actually can no longer remember which one worked. Of course, though, it's important to point out that every problem that we're having with Linux can also be a problem with Windows.
But the fact that Microslop is also bad doesn't mean that we shouldn't be honest about issues or like level of tinkering required with Linux. My laptop, for example, running Mint and a very simple use case of basically just loading a browser, hasn't required any tinkering this whole time and hasn't really had any problems. My desktop running CachyOS, I've intentionally tried to like put myself in harm's way and ran into some really complex scenarios that have been fun to diagnose and work through. But there are things that are quite simple on Windows and very easy to do that are more complicated on Linux. And that's okay, but trying to hide that fact.
By the way, the opposite is also true, and it drives me crazy every time I have to use a Windows laptop. And it sounds absurd, but like one time I have to use a Windows laptop and it kept going to sleep. And on Linux, I'm used to just, battery settings, block sleep. This is probably out of frame. Ah, no, my face is on it. But look at here, battery, stop sleep. And that's as easy as that. On Windows, yeah, you have to dive into settings and everything. It drives me crazy. But yeah, that's also true. Like usually you get used to your operating systems, and when you try to switch to something else, the things you are accustomed to making like easily using those features, now they're hard to use. You just have to get used to the new easy things that you can do.
In order to recruit more Windows users to join the community, I think does more harm than good, especially when they are, unfortunately, fairly often met with hostility from the community when they then run into these problems and are unequipped to deal with. I think there are some obviously extremely bright lights in the Linux community that bring a lot of hope and joy and fun to the whole experience of learning Linux, but there is a lot of negative.
That's true. Stop, please. Stop that. Come on. Come on.
Communication on forums, on Reddit, elsewhere. It's very off-putting for new Linux community members, which we're going to be seeing a lot more of soon, to receive that type of energy. The biggest thing that didn't work for me was just software compatibility. But with some time and effort, I did manage to find either an alternative way to get the Windows native version working for my admittedly somewhat basic software suite.
I didn't. I use Adobe Premiere for editing, and one of the many fun ways that Adobe is kinda ass is that it just doesn't work on Linux. Now,
Great.
I tried
Switch to something else, please.
messing around with Bottles a bit, which allows you to run Windows software on Linux, but that was
By the way, I have an interview with Battle developers from like years ago. They're very nice people. Italian people. A few of them.
Obviously still a no-go, which then sent me looking for alternatives. DaVinci Resolve has a Linux build, though it's only officially supported on Rocky Linux of all things.
Which is super weird. But yeah, it's already much better, a much better option, I think, DaVinci Resolve.
Still, Rocky Linux is a lot closer to Bazite than Windows is, so maybe? And yeah, after 2 hours of trying, I got her up and running, but not the way I thought. See, I just tried installing it like a Windows application.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that. Go to your package. Or, I don't know how DaVinci Resolve works. Maybe it's not in the repositories. I'll shut up.
Download and run. But Bazite, as I learned, is an immutable operating system similar to SteamOS. This means
Right, which still feels weird to me that you'll pick just Bazite as a way to start your Linux journey.
core operating system files and permissions are locked down in such a way that the user either can't screw them up, or they can, but then they'll reset themselves after a reboot. Unfortunately, this same lockdown applies to some software installers, which then means that they can't alter the files that they need to.
Yeah, you need to use the package
Solution was for me to beat my head against a wall until I found this 6-minute video about a simple command to run. Hey, software.
Which I guess turns off the immutability. Is that what you're doing? You shouldn't do that. You should go to the package manager and install that. Or not use Bazite. I guess you could just turn off the... I'll shut up.
Or installed. But then I ran into the same problem as Poppy Playtime. Depending on the file that I was trying to play or export, it wouldn't work.
This is only a problem for the free version of DaVinci Resolve. Maybe it's another driver issue, like they didn't package some drivers with a free version. I don't know. I don't use DaVinci Resolve. I use KDE Live.
Frickin' curse you, video codecs. So I then tried KDE
I meant codecs, not drivers. I'm tired.
Live, which is fine for
KDE Live.
For basic editing, but if I want to be a power user, it's just not quite there yet. And for stills, neither is GIMP. you know what? I'm gonna be the one to say it. GIMP sucks.
Fair enough. And by the way, I'm working on a new video editing application that's also like an animation. I just can't speak today. My God, vector graphics application and OBS-like application. So give me a couple of months, or actually years, and I'm gonna change the Linux world. Don't worry.
With that said, I still want to emphasize the gratitude that I feel, and you, Elijah, I know you feel it too, toward the open source community. Whether it's applications, or drivers, or Linux in general, the fact that people are stepping up against the corporate overlords who are limiting our choices, feasting on our wallets, and then spying on us for good measure is amazing, and it's admirable.
It is.
However, context matters, and when we're evaluating the
It is very funny. Monitor flickering may not be related.
admirable.
Oh, no.
However,
What is this?
context matters.
I'm really hoping that it's some weird shutter thing on the camera side and not Pop West just dying.
Matters. And when we're evaluating the experience of switching to Linux, we're doing so from a user perspective. And so we do have to point out things that might not be ideal. Just
Totally fair.
try to
Do
understand that it comes from a place of love and appreciation, not from a place of hate.
I really feel sorry that I feel like they have to say this every time, because apparently there are some Linux people that just hate on them. Don't do that.
Of hate.
They're doing a great job trying to bring more Linux knowledge to the people.
Everybody involved in the Linux challenge today is rooting for Linux to succeed. And it's actually been really exciting to see so many social media posts of people who have joined the challenge alongside us, even though we didn't ask anybody to. But
Do that, by the way. Try out Linux for 30 days. I'm gonna ask you to.
as exciting as all of that is, part of succeeding in this is taking off the blinders and being honest about the areas where things need to improve. And it's actually been pretty cool to see that some of our observations are already resulting in clearer documentation that's going to help pave the path for future users.
Totally true. I'm really happy that you're doing this, by the way.
Now, I know we're releasing part 2, like, way past the 1 month point already. Elijah was busy fixing our environmental chamber, among other things, but we do still have more videos lined up for the series, and as you guys can see, even though we're past the month, there will be some surprises in the future parts. Part 3 is going to have us do some fun challenges.
Okay, let's just switch to part 3 at this point.
And our users range from lifelong Windows users
To Linux
Half an hour
every day.
already.
It becomes second nature, whether that's driving,
Cooking a meal,
or even riding a bike.
but when you're just diving into a new hobby,
It can be really tough to know if the issues you are experiencing are your fault or the fault of your tools.
which is the premise of this video. Linus, Elijah, and I are going to be completing tasks on our Linux computers. Are we the problem?
or is there something about Linux that can make things more difficult?
And our users range from lifelong Windows users
To Linux dabblers,
To slightly longer term Linux dabblers.
and our tasks range from things that should be dead simple on Windows because we either know it already or because it's easy to figure out.
to ones that would require a bit of tinkering even if we were in a comfortable environment.
I'm really worried. Last time they did this, they tried to sign a document with Ocular and everything burst into flames.
So here we go, starting with our first task. Segue to
Voice to text works. Learn more. Just every app on every device. Wherever you can type, Whisperflow works. Just speak how you normally would, and Whisperflow will do the writing and formatting for you. Learn more at the link down below.
While a major focus of the Linux challenge is the gamer's perspective, a core benefit of choosing a PC over something like a game console is that you can do a lot more than just game on it. And if we want to make the argument that Linux is a valid Windows replacement, non-gaming tasks need to be relatively quick, or at least painless enough that the average gamer doesn't get scared straight back into Microsoft's corporate embrace. With that in mind then, we had to lay out some ground rules. For instance, using a virtual machine with Windows inside of Linux to run apps is totally an okay thing to do for an average user. But is that
What?
really aligned with the spirit of the Linux challenge?
How is it okay for... No, don't do that. It's obviously out of the rules.
You guys don't want to know how well I Windows. And besides, we're trying to avoid using Microsoft software, right?
Our second rule is that we set a time limit of 15 minutes per task because, like anyone else,
I get really anxious at this because they all feel like things that I could do in like a couple of minutes, and then something bad happens in the video and everything bursts into flames.
we have other things to do today. And honestly, if it goes much longer than that, it's clear that either the hammer or the holder is the problem.
Add or stop a program from auto starting with the OS. That's in settings, right? Sorry for showing you my OBS, but I think I did plenty of that already. Auto start here. Voila. You've got all application. You can add a new application from the list of applications. You've got a login script, logout scripts, and you can remove them from here. It should be super easy, no issues whatsoever, right?
Chat GPT. Okay, meme about it all you want, but it's been an invaluable resource.
Fair enough. But also, okay, you're on Cosmic, so I don't know how it works over there, but also, why don't you open settings and search for auto start? Like, I feel that should be the instinct. But I don't know how it works on Cosmic, so maybe don't do that.
Throughout the Linux Challenge 2026. Add a startup program to Pop OS.
I feel like that's gonna give you a lot of comments. I'm scared.
Let's go into my settings. A startup applications.
Whoa, it's
Add
there.
an app. Put that Among Us in there. Boom. Let's test it. Rebooter computer. I am among the Linux users. Let's go.
Okay, I found auto start. There's
Yes.
Discord,
Yes, exactly the
which
same
says
video
not running
was-
because I closed it, but does start up. So I'm gonna click remove entry, and now there is no user specified auto start items. Done.
Okay.
Let's just search startup. Auto start. Oh, auto start. That's probably gotta be
Okay.
something. So I see Steam. Let's add Discord. I can double check all that. Okay, well now we should test it. Okay, I'm gonna reboot my computer. One moment,
Okay.
please. Oh, I saw the startup. Started up. It's just muted. Hey, there we go. Or it was just minimized. Task 1 completed.
So that was super easy. I'm relieved. Record a video on your phone and transfer it to your PC without using cloud service. Yeah, I'm not gonna show it to you. Yeah, no, I'm not. Can I? No, I'm not gonna do that. But it's super easy. You just connect your phone, things pop up. Do you want to see the files? Yes, I want to see the files. Drag and drop. Or use KDE Connect, which is an awesome piece of software. Should take a couple of minutes. I do it so many times, by the way, so I'm so worried.
By far the best thing about me is just how Linux pilled I am. When I get up, I eat open source for breakfast. When I go take a I shit that open source right into the toilet. And then, the next day, I do it all over again. After sleeping, a restful sleep, dreaming dreams of open.
And that's how the entire 15 minutes limit went away.
Open source. Hire me. Linus Sebastian. My name's literally Linus. I actually had to do this when I was on my trip in Korea. I'm already familiar with what to do. No, I don't want to charge. I want to transfer images. I actually had a little bit more luck with that than the transferring files one. Mind you, that was on my laptop. Samsung Android, internal storage, DCIM, boom. Copy and videos. Yo! When I go take a shit, I shit that open source right into the toilet. Actually, I misspoke. My body absorbs all the open source.
Why is the display still flickering this badly, by the way?
And gets rid of anything that was not open source waste when I go to the toilet. I'm sorry, that was...
Hello, I'm gonna lie on my resume and see how that goes. I need a USB cable, and that USB cable will honestly really help me with accomplishing this job. I'm gonna do a really good job. I have no experience in the field that I'm applying for because all the experience that I have is like stopping Linus from walking off cliffs. Internal shared storage, okay.
Yeah.
Is it DCIM?
Yes.
Camera?
Yes.
I'm going to open file manager.
Yes.
Go to my videos area, drag this into there, copy here. It's there,
Boom, done.
and that's the video.
Please consider me for the job. I'm very cool. I have a cat who's interrupting the shoot. Hi, buddy. He has water all over his nose. Apple iPhone 5. Not quite, but we'll count it if it works. It's detecting it as a cat.
Because I think this happens when you tell the phone to act as a picture device, as Linus did. I don't know if you did the same thing. In theory, you should be able to choose this from the phone, but I'm not sure.
Camera though. It's not like detecting it as a file. USB device removed.
Is it an iPhone?
I didn't touch it. I thought this one would be easy. To plug an iPhone into Bazite, especially on handhelds like
No.
ROG Ally. AI overviews suck
No, don't trust it. Do not trust the AI overview from Google.
ass. Where did this come from? I don't want to plug it into the ROG Ally. Maybe there's a YouTube video? Someone telling me how to do this?
Why is this?
The first result is about how to do it to Windows. That's not what I Googled, please. KDE Connect.
That's a great option, by the way, but it's gonna take. I don't know. I feel like you could do it in less than 15 minutes, and that's gonna be cool. But
Okay, is that installed here? It is, device synchronization.
yeah, you
This-
also have to install the application on.
Might be an app I can download. Do you think that
iOS.
violates the spirit?
No, it doesn't, because it's over the local network and not uses cloud.
Of like no cloud services? If it's a direct peer-to-peer connection? I'll let
doesn't
you guys
violate.
decide in the comments.
You can
Oh
do
wow,
this.
I found it right away. Discovered devices,
I trust you.
Bazite, to start
I
pairing.
trust you. Please
Accept.
work.
Oh, there we go.
Please work.
On my iPhone, I want to send. That's a picture of my passport. Editor, please don't include that. Oh, receiving file. Open.
Okay.
Hey! But it also doesn't change the fact that I wasn't able to connect with a USB just like that.
I don't know what's up with that, honestly.
It was for some reason showing up as an iPhone 5 PTP mode.
I still think that it's some settings on the iPhone side for this, but I don't have an iPhone, so I don't know. But on Android, it does ask you this, so I don't know.
What does that even mean?
I'm not gonna.
Okay, okay. Use KDE Live. It's gonna take a few minutes. Less than that, actually. It's gonna take a few seconds. It's so easy. Please don't screw this up.
I'm gonna lie.
I'm really invested in these tasks.
I did not try to edit any video through at any point in the challenge on any of my systems. So I'm just gonna go straight for DaVinci.
I'll show you. No, wait, DaVinci. It's so easy. It's so easy. Just KDE Live. Look, here's the application. I'm gonna take a random video from my recording thing. Here's my video. You import the video. You put the video here. Give me some space. You cut. And voila, it's done. And now you can export. It's so easy. Please don't screw this up, please.
DaVinci Resolve. Oops, no. Yeah, I do.
It's gonna take 15 minutes just to run Resolve.
And all that. You know what? Let's just try this. Ooh.
Okay, why is KDE Live not in the... it is. It doesn't have an icon. Why? I'm gonna cry. But honestly, OpenShot and Shotcut should both do the trick. Don't use Olive, Flow, Blade, or PTV though. I mean, you can use them obviously, but they're like less popular and I don't trust them as much.
Ooh. I'm gonna go with Flow Blade. I mean, that looks like a video editing interface.
Oh no.
You gotta be willing to try stuff. That is definitely something that I think has changed in my attitude since the first Linux challenge. Is in the first Linux challenge, I wanted to know the right way to do stuff. And this time around, I'm just like, I'm gonna click on shit. What's the worst thing that could happen? You could delete your whole desktop environment. The whole internet could get mad at you. Okay, there's my 24
Okay.
second clip.
By far the best.
Wow! Blade. Delete. Okay, let's move this over.
When I go to the toilet afterward, my body has absorbed
Or this is like the Linux equivalent to like manosphere garbage. Okay, file export. Movie.mp4, let's go, boys.
When I go to the toilet afterward, my body.
Well, okay, it's not a great edit, but that's user error. The point is,
I'm never gonna shit on Flowblade again. Thank you, Flowblade, for working.
as I exported a video.
And again, give me a few months and my application is gonna be on the list too.
Video.
It's not. Give me a few years.
Audio, functioning, and it was that fast. You might say I was in my Flowblade state.
The PITV video editor is what we're
But why is everybody not using the most known tools for it? I'm not getting angry at them, to be clear. I'm just very confused.
trying to go with. I have no idea how this thing works. Can I do it now? Oh.
Why PTV? Why? CushyOS Wikisoftware, is that your fault? CushyOS Wikisoftware, where is Chrome? Let me check that. I don't have Chrome open. Ah, yes, obviously, this is my Chrome. CushyOS Wikisoftware. Of course, I don't know how to write CushyOS. There's some environments. No. I don't think this one. Yeah, don't use PTV. Use anything else. Did you Google free and open source video editor and PTV was on the top of the list? And if so, which one?
I'm going to try something else. KDE Live. Okay, I've heard of that before.
Yes.
I can probably just grab it.
Okay, there is a list, I guess, in Holovier. Let's see if it's on the wiki. Let me check. Let's go KDE Live. PTV, actually, let's Google. No, I don't see any PTV results. So.
It really is quick. Uninstall. It's in. I have it already.
Okay.
Transform effect. Cool. Yeah, where is that? Transform. Got it. Now I need to cut it again because I didn't do that technically.
Yes.
Okay, that was actually way easier this time because now I know how it works. File, render, rendering to crashed.
Oh, fuck. Height not divisible by 4. Oh, that's weird. So it's an easy fix. You just have to change the output resolution. It's super weird.
Height not.
I do wonder what's up with that. I really do. Is that some... I don't... What settings do you use for the rendering?
File,
let me
render.
check. And before, I mean, unless it changed it, this is using the usual software encoder. It's not even hardware accelerated.
Rendering to...
It changed that. So I really don't understand the issue.
Crashed. Height not divisible by 4. Okay, did it. I had to render out in a different format. Yeah, the format that I chose was not happy with something. I don't know. I'm not a video editor.
Yeah, I'm gonna double check what's wrong with
I already
this.
talked in part 2 about how I needed to use like KDE Live. That's where I'm going right away. I can't open my file folder. Unknown code, error 1. Just trying to open my files. Okay, let me drag in the video.
Okay.
Sure, transcode.
Yeah, because variable I just cannot speak. Variable refresh rate, is it? I always variable frame. Come on, frame rate. I always get this wrong.
Code. Failed to create
Failed to
file.
create
Thank you
file.
very much, KDE Live. I want to cut out the part where he's got water on his nose.
How does this? I've never ever seen that error in KDE Live. What I'm guessing is that he went to the network share and drag and dropped the file from that network share, and somehow the network share was read only, and so KDE Live wasn't able to create the proxy file. That said, you don't actually have to transcode it for it to work. So you can just ignore the error and move on, and it's gonna work anyway.
It makes Token look bad. Cut, and then I'll get me laughing when he leaves. Boom.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no ripple delete. Okay, file.
Yes, there is. It's just a different shortcut.
Render. I'm just gonna put it back on the desktop here. Hey, it's done.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to my desktop and let's play it back. There, I cut out the part. Task complete. Easy peasy. Save? No, I don't need to save. Re-export. No, I don't need to save. I should have saved the file.
Re-export that video file directly to your network share. Okay, I don't have a network share, so I cannot show it to you. Re-export should just work out of the box unless it's read-only, right? Right, guys?
What's it called? Flowblade? Flowblade! As soon as I start typing SMB:// it gets mad. This could be a challenge. Ooh. SMB 4K. We're just going to try stuff. Man, I know I'm on the right track here.
What the? Oh no. Okay, so this is super weird to see and honestly took a couple of seconds for me to even parse what's happening. Okay, I guess we installed the KDE application for SMB. I really don't know how it works, so please forgive me. But that's like the KDE application, but we are not on KDE Plasma, so we're on Cosmic. So I guess it's gonna work anyway, because why should it be related to the desktop? But still, it's weird. And then we're gonna use the non-KDE video editor. That's like a third party to try to render inside of it. I am very scared for all of this. It's a weird mix.
Here's where it's gonna mount to. I just have to navigate to it. What's the difference between location and IP address? Blah, 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 blah. Change path, render. Yeah, this was the first hard one. Oh, yes, we're good. We're so back.
It worked.
Okay.
Play the video, confirm.
Play the video. Oh, I can play the video. Or wait, hold on. No, we have not actually confirmed yet. Okay, let's navigate to it the other way. Linus Pill. Uh-oh. No, it didn't actually go there. Oh, this is good. This is good. It's prompting me for my network credentials. This is good. Okay, oh dude, we're so back. Change path, render. Okay, this time I got it. There it is. There it is. I know what happened. Basically, the interface was a little bit confusing for me for this like mount system.
Which is KDE's mount system, so it's our fault somehow, even though it's not using KDE Plasma.
When I mounted a new thing, I assumed IP address was where I needed to put like the IP address, but actually it wants me to put that in location, which is also an IP address location, like, I don't know, they seem kind of redundant to me. To me, I thought location was like a label. Like I could just label it whatever I want. Because unlike on Windows, where your label is going to be like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, like through your drive letters, right? In Linux, it's more like you've got your mount folder, and then you can like put stuff there. So I thought this would be like what I was calling it in my mount folder, but instead it just makes a name.
Honestly, that's a fair assumption. I would probably make the same mistake, but also I would probably use Dolphin's UI for this because I would be on KDE Plasma, and that seems to work better.
Name for me. Users Linus Pill on address. I'm like, sure. You know what? I'm calling that a W. I'm calling that a W. Okay.
Well, I don't have a network drive
Thank you. Thank you.
that I can actually do anything with, but what I assume I would do is go into sudo nano /etc/fs tab and like mount it in here is what I think I would do. I don't think that's in the spirit of what they're asking me to do.
Come on.
And the birds agree.
If you remember from part 2, one of the challenges that I struggled with was actually mounting my network share. And this is one of the key things. Exporting files from GIMP or any other video editing software or just any software. I was having issues exporting it directly to my network share. I often exported it to my desktop and then dragged it over. But you know what?
That feels so weird because it means it's not even a read-only issue because you can just drag and drop things. I don't know anything about network folders.
You know what? I got new NAS software recently. Maybe that'll fix it. I doubt it. I'm just huffing that copium pretty hard right now. I'm just gonna save it to my root here, which will just be Mechamothra. We're gonna title it Network Export and save. And then render. I think Kden Live crashed. I cannot even close it. As the industry says, I really fucked this one up. Wow, it's really not happy. It's not even like letting me force kill it. I'm clearly gonna have to like retry or find a new method to export it to the network share. See, this is what I was talking about in part 2 though. I can like find my network share right here, but I can't mount it. I can copy the location and then I can navigate to it. But can I mount this somehow? Oh, there's a video. Oh, I should have just gone directly to the Bazite documentation. I don't want to format.
Yeah,
I don't want to make a partition.
I just realized that I put my face on top of their face. I'm sorry about that. Maybe let me move my face to like here.
Nope. Auto mounting. So that's in like a disk, manage disk location. But I don't think I can add a network share as a disk image. No, I can't.
Is it disk?
So this is a completely wrong video. Thank you for that. Like the average person reading this.
Yeah, you shouldn't be dealing with this, but what do I know?
Is gonna make their head explode, dude. Like it's making my head explode, and I know a little bit about computers. Holy cow. My brain is starting to hurt. How much time do I have left? I have a minute? I feel like I've actually done nothing. Okay, I'm just gonna go for it. We're gonna do this, paste. It just pasted in a completely different spot. Thank you for that. I can't even undo. Okay. No, okay, listen, I know that's my timer. Give me an extra minute. Audience, you'll give me an extra minute, right?
Of course, I'll give you all the time you need.
I assume you said yes. Okay.
Come on. Remote into your Linux PC from another computer. So, okay, there's a few apps that do that, but to be fully honest, I've never tried them, so this might just not work.
Windows or Linux, my ass. I can use my phone. That's a computer. Hold on, where is this machine? I haven't actually tried to remote into this. I've remoted out of this. Seriously, when did just like the type in the ID thing go away? Why is this so complicated now? Oh my God.
What is the Team Viewer? Team Viewer.
590 405. I will have changed this by the time you watch this video. Don't bother. Save. This computer's or contact is already in your list. Well, where is it, smart guy? Did I have Parsec on here as well? Yeah, I did. Okay, I'm gonna grab a computer. Yeah, hosting is still not supported in the Linux Parsec app, or at least whatever version of it I have. Let me make it clear that nothing I'm doing right now should be considered an endorsement of TeamViewer or their nonsense business practices. How has this got?
I'm so out of the loop about the nonsense business practices of TeamViewer.
Gotten so bad. Yeah, this just like didn't work. Okay. All right, AnyDesk, here we go.
AnyDesk I've tried in the past, so that should work, I guess. It worked for me.
Display server not supported, Ubuntu, oh great. Does not fully support Wayland. Disable.
Yes, Wayland's gonna be a mess for this one. I don't know which apps would support that. Yeah, that's right. Oh no. Oh no, now I'm scared.
Wayland in the GNOME Display Manager to force Xorg. Okay.
Oh no, it's gonna force Xorg. That can cause so many issues on its own.
I mean, yeah.
That's time.
All right.
Yeah, fair enough. That's
Error. I don't have another computer. Error. Where?
It's on your desk right now.
My phone? Okay. Let's just randomly install stuff that ChatGPT tells me to do. Amazing, it doesn't exist. I forgot I'm pretty sure you can do this with like Steam.
Are you loaded in reader?
Yep.
Or on your phone?
Yep.
Okay. Does it work for the desktop as well, though?
Probably not what you're looking for, but I am technically controlling my computer from my phone.
I mean, come on, just use KDE Connect at this point.
Now, one of the ways I remote control my streaming PC when I'm away is I actually use Google Chrome's built-in remote management. I wonder if that works on
I think not.
Linux. Ooh, it wants Debian Linux.
Yeah, I think you should be fine.
Phasite is not based off Debian. I'm still gonna try here. Chrome Remote Desktop, this was from 15 months ago, but it seems like an official
Yeah, no, I think the issue is still Wieland. Yeah. Because, you know, Wieland actually has like security, and so it's not gonna let a random application take full control over your machine. And again, you have to use portals, but I don't know if there's a portal that's like, give me full control of this. I genuinely don't know. So I guess that's something that has to be handled by the compositor. I wouldn't know how to do this, honestly.
bad
But it's just because I've never tried it.
site post of some sort. You will need an RPM package and hope they have Wayland support, which I doubt. This same comment says we support Sunshine and Moonlight. Maybe we should try that.
I did try Sunshine and Moonlight, but it was the other way around. I only used it to have my TV showing my screen remotely without any cable. So I don't know how it works the other way around.
Open the terminal.
No, actually it did work because I could like click on stuff with the TV remote.
Terminal and type, you just set up Sunshine. That sounds like an insult. Whoever wrote that command, you just set up Sunshine. You just set up dash
No.
Sunshine.
That's pretty funny.
Choose enable beta, disable service. We're gonna enable. Oh, it's still setting up. I think I launched Sunshine too soon. But it's clearly doing something. It's installing a bunch of crap. So I think while that's installing, I'm gonna get Moonlight set up on my Windows computer here so I could hopefully remote into it. God, this looks so sketchy. Attention, Sunshine detected these errors during startup. We strongly recommend fixing them before streaming. Fatal. Couldn't bind RTSP server port. Address is already in use. Well, it says they recommend I fix it. I mean, okay, let's try. That didn't work. Wait, I know my time just ran out.
Oh no.
This is my streaming mouse. But as you can see, I am successfully controlling this with surprisingly low latency.
Yeah, by the way, what's the name again? Sunshine and Moon something. I completely blanked on the name already. They actually have very low latency. That's why I picked them to stream to my TV.
Now,
it's actually not sketchy at all. It works surprisingly well.
Pretty sure that's over the network, not my local intranet. I'm pretty sure this is going out through the internet. But I am successfully remote controlling.
No, I am pretty sure it doesn't go on, but okay.
Controlling this PC. I got that right on the buzzer. Holy cow, I'm counting that, because most of it was just waiting for it to download. So, cool. I've never used Sunshine and Moonlight before.
They're really cool, by the way. If you didn't know about them, I don't know, maybe I should do an entire video about them.
But that was pretty easy.
Play a game that has easy anti-cheat or a kernel level anti-cheat, yeah. I don't think I have ever played such games. Also feels like something that could go very wrong, especially on like Koshi OS and Bazite, I don't know.
Games with easy anti-cheat on Linux. Elden Ring. I mean, how am I even supposed to download a game in this time? Oh,
fair enough.
Oh, dude, I forgot how fast my internet is. This is gonna be done in like 2 minutes. I got this. Boom, play. Here we go. Okay. Challenge accepted. Challenge completed.
There you go.
I am playing Elden Ring.
Oh no, okay, it's doing this thing. This is like, if I'm ever gonna have a problem with a game, this is what's gonna happen, which is that I click the play button, nothing happens, and we're back.
Yeah,
Okay, so I'm gonna try something, which is where I run Steam from the command line, and then I can kind of see what's happening on Steam's end
You can really see that he's the more Linuxy of the three.
through the command line window, because of it doing this like silent error thing that's very annoying. See how it's like doing stuff over here? So I'm gonna click play, try to see what happens. Okay, something red happened.
Not showing path with container.
I think it's the drive that it's installed on. My internet's being super slow as it tries to re-download. We're only at 27%. We've been waiting here for a while. So this is clearly something you can do. I know for a fact that Arc Raiders runs. I've technically ran Arc Raiders on this system before. I've just done a bunch of things since then, and I didn't have a good version of it installed. So maybe we'll update later with me self-capturing, running Arc Raiders or something
Okay, so it's sort of a success, actually. Come on, sorry.
else. But this is something that does work. There are games that run easy anti-cheat or other levels of heavier anti-cheat that do work on Linux. Those versions of anti-cheat just usually don't do as much. That's how they make it work.
This one I feel like I have an unfair advantage at. There's actually a game I play regularly that has easy anti-cheat that I know works on Linux. We're in. We are in game right now. The game has launched, no issue. And I would boot up into a game, but we are working right now.
Format USB drive to FAT32 and load a flashback file that your PC can read. What's a flashback file? Am I showing how ignorant I am? A flashback file? Is that like an image of the drive? I don't know. Format USB drive should be easy. Let me pick up Dolphin again. Let me plug this thing. It's not a USB, but it's an external drive. Shouldn't matter. Yeah. I really wish that we had like a format button in this. I think we can just use disks, which yeah, get disks. I completely forgot what the KDE name of this application is. KDE Disks app. Partition Manager, just partition. Okay, let's get it for what it's worth. Let me see if my intuition here is correct. Okay, install from Ubuntu. And in theory, I just gave away my password because apparently just by the clicking sound, you can fairly accurately tell the password of somebody. Let's see if this actually installs decently fast. Come on, come on. Update issue, okay, but it worked, so who cares? Okay. Yeah, this is my computer. I actually want, oh, it disconnected. Okay. Let's launch the partition manager again. So it refreshes. Now we've got the SSD and we can new partition table, GPT or MS-DOS. Are those the choices? Yeah, I guess you just do that and then you select another file system. Yeah, change the file system. It's gonna erase all the contents and I'm not gonna do that, but yeah, okay, it shouldn't be too hard, and I guess GNOME Disks is gonna do the same for the Cosmic with Linus. So hopefully that's gonna be easy. You can also do that from the command line, obviously, and it's gonna be super easy, but you've also got an application to do that. I also think that there was some option to get that in the context menu as well, but I completely forgot how to do that.
Utilities. Disks!
Yeah, disks.
Intuitive.
Good.
Format disk.
Yes.
Is this FAT32? Sorry, is this right? That's not FAT32. Okay, KDE Partition Manager. Let's try this.
Why didn't disks work? I thought that was gonna
FAT12, FAT32, create. Yes, I can create, move, copy. Okay, so
work. Okay.
how do I do it? This file system does not support setting a label. Well, which one is it now? Oh, apply. Sure, apply pending operations. Okay, what did we do? New volume group? Partition, new. Here we go, FAT32. Let's go. FATI32.
Okay.
All right, hey, we're back on track. So if I go into utilities, disks, it's totally there. I still can't copy anything to it though.
But why can't you do this from disks? I'm sorry for losing all of this time, but I'm generally curious as to how disks work. So let's install this as well. Install from Ubuntu. I have to admit that installing is the one thing that I usually never use Discover for, and just use the command line. But for the sake of, yeah, I don't know. Package failed to install. Okay, is there an actual error in there? Or okay, no, it copied to my clipboard. Package failed to install. Which, thank you. That's a lot of info. But actually, also that's false. Format disk, partitioning. Yeah, I think that's how you do this, is it? I really don't want to actually partition anything, but I really feel like you just format disk and then you pick something that makes sense here, DOS I guess, and then you pick the FAT32 in the next dialog. I really think this is how you do it.
Failed to mount it for writing. So clearly there's more that I have to do here to like make it cooperate. I want 50% credit for it if it's a FAT32 drive. That actually works. I want 50% credit, 30% credit. Yeah, I'll take 25% credit. Properties. Yep, file system FAT32.
Yeah.
So let's agree on 10% credit.
No, let's agree on 100% credit. Okay, maybe too much. Is there any like USB I can use for this? This is crazy. I literally don't have anything I can format on me just to prove a point. Do I? Yeah. I really don't want to risk formatting my SSD.
Oh shit. I put in a flash drive that was not supposed to be in the bin that it was in. Okay, so KDE Disk Partition Manager thing,
okay.
Pretty good. I can see the flash drive right here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna right click on it. I'm gonna unmount it. I'm gonna go FAT32. I'm gonna label it. Okay, and then click apply.
Which, by the way, is exactly what Linus did. So if this works, we know that it should work.
Apply pending operations. I can see it's like redetecting it. It just finished. It's reloading my drives. I see it here now. It's FAT32. I go in there. There's a removable drive. Here it is.
Boom, done. I'm pretty sure it worked for Linus as well.
Let's start by seeing if there's like a disk management thing here.
Yes,
there
that's
is.
correct.
I see my thumb drive.
Yes.
I see GPT and MBR. I do not see
Okay.
the FAT
This is exactly what I would have done as well if I had to use disks.
32. Balena Etcher. Let's do this.
Does it work on Linux as well?
Download Etcher. Downloading a lot today. That's one thing I've noticed.
Oh no. Yeah, you do have an executable, but that's not how you download applications on Linux. This is beginning to stress me. You should use the package manager. Do we have Etcher on? I don't think we have Balena Etcher on this. Yeah, Etcher. Yeah, no.
I like how this one answer is, hey, how do I do this? I scroll far enough down, it says you can do this on Windows.
But come on, there's gotta be a way to do it on GNOME disks. Format to FAT32. It's a fast process. Thank you, AI overview. That's exactly what I was looking for. Unmount, choose format, MS-DOS. Yeah, yeah. That sounds. Let me go back to your video. Sorry.
I scroll. Do this. Fat
Why didn't this
32.
work?
BR. I do not
Format.
see.
Why is this? I am confused. I am very confused. No, I don't want to actually do that. I just want to theoretically do that. I don't want to apply anything. Oh, that's weird.
Far enough down. Thank you, Kyle Ghostbo. I appreciate it. Of course, the AI overview gives me Windows results. Okay, Linux. Use gparted. I've heard of that before. Is that in the Bazite store? rpm-os tree install gparted. Oh, it's doing something. Checking out tree.
RPM West install gparted.
A5408E6. It wants me to reboot. It even tells me the command to reboot. Let's do that. System, control, reboot. Okay, we got gparted. Oh
Okay.
my gosh. I think I did it. How do I see it? Where'd it go? Wait, so if I like unplug this right now. Oh wait.
No,
Why
you
is
have
it
to
pending?
apply it. Yeah,
What
you
is
have to apply it.
So wait, did that not actually do that? No, it didn't. Device.
What we learned today is that between gparted, KDE Partition Manager, and GNOME disks, the only intuitive one to use apparently is KDE Partition Manager. Yay!
FAT32. Add. It's pending. Okay. We shall wait again. Oh, my
No, you have to apply it.
timer's going off.
You have to apply it.
And it's still
somehow.
pending.
I'm pretty sure there's gonna be an apply. Let's install gparted. Let's get to the bottom of this. Gparted, install from Ubuntu. It's gonna give me the same error. I mean, I don't actually want to apply anything, to be clear. Let's not mess up my very important data on the SSD. But let me understand what's going on in the gparted thing side of things. I'm gonna cry. Okay. Launch. And by the way, yes, I fully realize how bad the fact that this cover keeps telling me that things broke when they actually didn't is. Okay, so Extreme SSD. I'm not seeing that. Gparted, sorry. Yes, I have to change it here. I got this. Let's suppose that I want to do some operation, like resize it slightly smaller. Now, one operation pending, and this button here is apply all operations. This freaking button! Oh my god. Oh, you just had to press it. You just had to press it. And I will say that pending doesn't mean it's actually doing anything at the moment. It's pending. Why would you wait? You just have to press this little button that should have a label next to it to say apply all operations instead of being a tooltip. Come on, guys. Come on. No, quit. By contrast, the KDE Partition Manager hopefully does this right. Yeah. Yeah, let's change that. Change the file system. Yeah, I mean, come on. This is, I think, a very easy win for KDE. Not a win that I was looking for, but I'll take it.
Did I do something wrong? Like, why, what?
You should have pressed the button. the button.
What is taking it so long to...
Oh fuck, I just noticed this. Of course he didn't press the button. There's no button. No. Okay, so this is a theming issue. Gparted is not a KDE application, obviously. It's probably a GTK application. It might even be like an older version of GTK, and depending on your GTK theming, if you've got an incorrect theme, and apparently Bassite does, icons that are supposed to be black are white. Actually, I'm pretty sure I can reproduce that by just switching to the dark theme. Let me try that. Colors, yeah, let's switch to Breeze Dark like this. And then let's open Gparted again. Yes. Okay, yeah. See, everything is dark and the icons are invisible. And that's a mess. Oh my god.
To finish? Like, did I not hit save?
Yes, but you didn't hit save because it's fucking transparent. Even having text would have fixed that.
It's not telling me, like, what it's doing.
And weirdly enough, it's a theming issue. This is annoying me so much.
So I don't know if I did something wrong, because if I hit close right now, it's like, oh, this is still pending.
It should give you an option to apply, by the way, I think. Maybe not.
I just tried to... Well, I clearly couldn't do it. I got Gparted installed.
Yeah, but with a wrong theme. By the way, why didn't you use KDE Partition Manager given that you're on KDE?
What do you guys think? Is that a...
What did you try before? Gparted. So you tried Banana Etcher?
There is?
Okay, so you're on KDE. KDE has a partition manager that does exactly that. And before trying that, you tried GNOME Disks, Banana Etcher, and frigging Gparted.
I see
my god. I'm not blaming him, to be clear. The theming stuff is on us, I guess. Or on like the whole GTK thing, which is, my mind explodes.
Oh, man. I mean, I should get to the point, though. I should probably segue at some point to our sponsor.
Okay, so I guess we're gonna get to the last part. How many hours of recording am I doing? 1 hour and 23 minutes. We can do this. We're on to this journey together.
Elijah, Luke, and I have been daily driving some flavor of Linux. We showed you what we chose to install.
We talked through some of the roadblocks that we hit.
We even attempted challenges with varying degrees of success.
But now it's time for our final verdicts. Who will stay on Linux and who will go crawling back to Microsoft like a baby?
That's a joke, of course. These are just our personal experiences, and your year of the Linux desktop might come sooner or later than ours. There's no shame in either.
But one thing that we can say for certain is that the year is closer today than it was the last time these two did the challenge.
So true. It feels like Linux has been moving forward at the same speed that Windows has been moving backward, which is,
That's true.
I mean, both are pretty impressive. All three of us, spoiler alert, seriously considered staying on Linux rather than returning to that sinking ship. Just like we considered which of us would the community care about important things like freedom, privacy, and owning their own stuff. We did a whole video discussing how the legitimate threat that Linux now presents is finally forcing Microsoft to wake up and do something, take action. And this is just proof once again that competition is good for absolutely everyone and everything. So with that in mind then, let's kick off with the highlights from the first month.
For me, the first one has got to be speed. Maybe it's just general bloat. Maybe it's because everything doesn't have to check in with Copilot when I do literally anything.
Yeah, Linux is pretty fast.
But Bassite just felt snappier than Windows. And quick application launch time made my system feel, honestly, brand new. every single time I used it. I also did love how supportive the community was overall. I lurked in the Discord a decent amount, and if you ignore the couple times that they on me before this challenge, the community seemed really keen on helping get new users the best Bazite experience possible. Saying that, there were some other things.
Nope! We're only doing positive right now. Positive things only.
Fine.
I think the biggest eye-openers for me happened every time I was back on Windows for some reason. Like when I jumped on the
Yeah, I love that on a 28 minutes video, the positives last 9 minutes and then there's the negatives. Oh no.
the WAN show laptop, for instance. I go to sit down and boom! Do you want to use Edge? Do you like Xbox gaming? Would you like a OneDrive subscription? No! Just like the last time you were all up in my grill asking me about it. It drives me freaking crazy. Like, if Microsoft was a guy at college, he would be the kind of guy that the bartender would type up a thing and then show it to the girl sitting next to him. He doesn't take no for an answer.
On KDE Plasma, we show you exactly one piece of advertisement, which is not actually advertisement, and it's one small notification once a year, every year, once a year, to just say, hey, if you like KDE Plasma, you can make a donation. And that's it. And you can say, I don't want to see this ever again, or you can make a donation. And that's it. That's the whole thing.
And I just found
Or yes, remember my login? Just
he just doesn't listen.
yeah.
I just found that over the course of my month with Linux, my trust in it grew. And by comparison, my trust in Windows is just shattered at this point.
I think the main thing that I was surprised by was actually game compatibility. Because last time this was a pretty big issue. And for most of this challenge, you know, I started with every time before I was going to launch a game, I loaded up a browser, checked ProtonDB, what are people doing to make it work?
Didn't believe ProtonDB.
Yeah. And then within, honestly, not that much time, I stopped checking. I stopped even checking force compatibility. I just started pressing play, and almost everything just worked.
It's like roulette, but 5 of the 6 chambers are full.
yeah. It would almost always work. The problems were, I guess, no, we're only doing positive.
Yes,
Okay.
we are.
So I'll stick with that.
So what we can do is go to lmg.gg/floatplane, where some of the free-flowing discussion might end up on the cutting room floor, but I've got a few more things that are positive. I did a trip to Sony, where I was checking out a new TV, and I realized, oh no, I can't use their display source because it's got copyrighted films on it.
Sure.
So I needed something to output to it, and I was like, well, I have HDR footage, but do I have an HDR-capable device? And I went, oh gosh, it's my Linux laptop. Kubuntu handled it like a champ. Absolutely zero BS. Honestly, it was a better experience than Windows.
Props to the KWin developers. I guess it's KWin because it's Kubuntu, or maybe it's Cosmic, I don't know. The laptop, I think he said it's Kubuntu, for doing all of the HDR work, not all of, for doing all of the HDR work that they've been doing. That's so cool. Wow.
I was floored.
For me, with Bazite, I actually found a lot of positives came from external launchers, which was honestly really surprising, because obviously Proton is very tied with Steam,
Sure,
at
yeah.
least online in terms of the narrative behind it, but there was times where I was able to get the Xbox launcher working, and I even managed to boot brand new Forza Horizon 6 on it.
Interesting.
Because,
I didn't.
but we're not talking about that right now.
No negatives
This is a positive. All right. I think yeah. The other bit of positive is that it's just more fun. Like the problems that I'd run into on Windows for the last, honestly, years, like not a short period of time, has almost always just been really annoying.
I felt like they're problems by design, whereas on
Kinda.
Linux, I feel like they're problems by, we didn't get to that yet.
Your HDR thing is so polished because some.
That's fair, though. We didn't get to that yet. I really like that way of putting it.
Some person out there was just annoyed about HDR and made it awesome.
Yeah.
And just maybe someone hasn't been annoyed enough about the problem that you're dealing with right now.
No, I think the HDR thing is because Valve is putting a lot of money into it because they want HDR to work on their Steam machines. I think that gave a big help, but I might be wrong here.
Now, so it hasn't been made completely awesome yet, but you can probably fix it yourself.
Yeah. Shifting gears a little bit, as someone who has set up a lot of computers, the whole going through and getting the driver's rigmarole bothers me more than it probably should. And on Linux, it just isn't a thing. If you've got a recent kernel, it just, everything, my Wi-Fi, my Bluetooth, all of my crap, mostly, just works. And it blows me away that in the year of our Lord 2026, Microsoft can't have a similar experience with Windows Update.
Windows Update was actually like, kind of fascinating. Like going from updating Mint and Cache to updating my Windows machine felt like I went back a decade.
Yeah.
Like it was not only are you not getting those driver updates, but it's also not updating just all the software on your computer.
In fairness to Windows, Chocolatey, Winget, these things do exist, and the Microsoft Store does.
I don't feel like that's really a good alternative to what Linux is doing, which is very cool.
Does exist, it just doesn't feel like part of the native experience. And the parts that do, like the Windows Store, feel crammed down my throat and like they come with downsides.
And like you're best off to try to avoid it.
And I mean, speaking of that, I actually enjoyed using the built-in like Bazite store because it worked very well. There was no other ads shoved in my face. 9 times out of 10, I could probably find what I wanted.
You don't need to log in with your 2FA and then like randomly you have to log in again in the Minecraft launcher app that you downloaded from the Windows Store with the same credentials. Why?
Yeah, it
Yeah. Yeah.
was
Just inherited.
it was awesome to actually use a store that I kind of liked.
Honestly, just the experience of getting software in general on Linux feels pretty good. Like updating with Pac-Man, and you have the little animation of it like eating little bits as it goes along.
I had never seen that. That's so cute. I didn't know it was a thing. But yeah, getting software on Linux is miles ahead compared to Windows. I truly believe that.
It just like feels good. And then going to update Windows after only like a week, not only took forever, but it's not entirely clear like what's even going on. Things will sit at 99% for 10 minutes. And it's so rewarding when you go to update. I have this experience with Cache all the time where it'll be like this big system update and it finishes and it's like net size change minus whatever. Like it just got smaller. Like, what? Are you kidding me?
And even when things don't work, okay, this might be a bit of a controversial take, but I was blown away by how quickly I could solve things with an LLM.
Oh yeah.
Compared to like trawling endless, ancient forum posts, because that's the thing about Linux. Double-edged sword is it's moving really.
Maybe the year of the Linux desktop will come thanks to LLMs. That would be quite a surprise.
Really fast, which is great for it like getting better all the time, but not great for the archive of information that's out there on the internet. With something can be from 6 months ago and be completely irrelevant today.
I also found that I did a bunch of LLM usage with trying to learn how to use Linux, but I tried to use it as an educational tool instead of like an autocomplete. But FS tab, I was messing around in there, but instead of just like, I would ask it like, what should I put here? And it would tell me, but then I'd be like, okay, well, there's like 2 random numbers at the end. What are those? What does that mean? I'm like, what is this? It says no fail. What is it not
I think it's a really fair usage of LLMs. This
failing?
one.
Why would I want it to fail?
I mean, speaking of fail, it's funny you brought up LLM because of how much people made fun of you in part 1 for using it to decide your distro. I was so scared of that kind of reception that I cautiously was like, I'm not using an LLM to solve my issues. I broke that after like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because I tried what you said. I went through like old forum posts, old Reddit posts or whatever, and hey, 6 out of 10 probably worked fine.
Yeah.
But those 4 out of 10 that didn't drove me nuts. So.
I also ran into the LLM just like gaslighting the heck out of me.
Oh, of course,
Like,
of course.
It happens, but you have to be aware of that as well.
Now, we do have to move on, and I get it. Criticizing Linux feels a little bit like walking outside on a crisp autumn day to discover that some kind neighbor has raked all the leaves in your yard. Then tracking down that neighbor and explaining to them that you would have done it differently. However, we do have some ongoing sources of friction with Linux, even a month into our switch. Why don't we start with Luke?
Yeah, I've had some issues with my pressing my middle mouse button.
Yeah.
Which you might not think you use that often. I like scrolling that way on really long web pages.
I'm a middle mouse diehard.
Yeah.
I love it.
I don't know how many people are, but I am as well. And that just wasn't working anywhere. I figured out that that's a settings toggle that you can do in browsers. So I was able to solve that. But like in Baldur's Gate, the way that you turn the screen is you press in your scroll wheel and then rotate the screen.
Well, one of the ways you turn the screen.
But I just rebound the middle mouse version to a single key because it just wasn't working at all. And I ended up looking into this, and it is a thing with Linux where drag select copies whatever you select, and then pressing in the middle mouse wheel pastes it. And it's just like, okay, but I don't want that. And I tried to look up some resources online and then just figured out that, oh, okay, I can just change the settings in the browsers. That's 95% of what I need to change here.
Yeah.
Another annoying thing that I had is I didn't get Forza 6 working. There's kind of an issue here that I don't run into when I'm troubleshooting things on Windows, which is I couldn't tell if this error was because I was running Linux or if this error was just an error with the game.
That's a really good point. Whenever you're doing something unsupported, and let's face it, Proton, even though it's super cool and magical, is effectively, from the game developer standpoint, an unsupported use case. Yeah. You have no way of knowing, is this just me? Is this my weird flavor of Linux? Is this the game? Is it?
Especially if Proton hides the error messages from the user, which it kind of shouldn't do, but we've seen that happen in this video, in the previous video, so.
My hardware.
I mean, speaking of things that don't just work sometimes, for me, it was search. And search on Bazite was surprisingly terrible.
This is not the direction I was expecting this conversation to go.
To be very clear, Windows search, absolute ass as well. In fact, probably worse than Bazite.
Okay.
But the problem is that Bazite/Linux, I believe this is probably under the whole roof, they sometimes make things different just for the fact of being different from Windows.
I do get that sometimes.
And so when I would type the word sleep to adjust my sleep settings, and because I type sleep enter, my computer would go to sleep.
I mean, that's fair. Like, yeah, of course the first option is gonna be sleep if you type sleep. But if you do want to go into, power management and screen locking, they're just down there, and if you click on them, their importance is gonna be raised, so it's gonna go to the top. But honestly, how is that not a feature? Like, I often just click reboot to reboot.
That is a habit I still have not broken.
And by the way, you can disable that, I'm pretty sure. Here, nope, not here, sorry. Here, here under settings, configure enabled plugins, and I think it's this one. Let's try sleep. Yeah, it's gone. That was it. You can configure it. I really think that it's a nice thing to have, and if you don't like it, here, configured enabled search plugins, you can very easily disable it. So I don't think it's that big of a negative point. And by the way, I think this is important. KDE has a special search, Baloo, which has a bad name because it takes a bit of resources, but it shouldn't have a bad name because it's actually super cool and is able to do advanced searches with tags and within the contents of files. It's super cool. So I'm really sad to see search being brought forward as a negative point. I really think that's a strong point actually of Linux and KDE Plasma.
It's such a minor thing, but it paints the bigger picture that I'm talking about.
The hard thing about...
Yeah, but you can just disable that. I don't think it's... And actually it's so cool that you can enable and disable every single thing in your search bar, and you can even you can change the importance. Like, see, some are favorite plugins, such as Power, and you can just unfavorite, and it's gonna go on the bottom. And between the favorite ones, you can change the order they're gonna be displayed at. So this is so cool, right? And it's not particularly hidden away. Like, it's the search box next to the search box settings, and then configure search plugins. Like, yeah, I guess you kind of have to know that you can do this, but it's not that hard to discover it, I think. And it's such a cool thing to have.
About a lot of these frustrations is they could be like...
It's not being different for the sake of being different. That got to me. That got to me. It's not being different for the sake of being different. It's actually cool to be able to do a lot of things on the search bar. You can even do this. If you somehow want, sine to pi, like look how cool is that? And you can do very advanced mathematics here. Integrate x. Yeah, come on, that's cool, isn't it? And of course you can disable it if you don't want it. You can even plot things sometimes. Whoops, sorry. Plot x. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't.
Habit-based or based on just sort of the logic of operating systems that you're used to, like your middle mouse expected behavior. Yeah. And I don't know how to solve that, right? Because on the one hand, you don't want all Linux distros to just be Windows clones. Yeah. Like, that's the whole point. That's what we're trying to get away from. But on the other hand, if they're too different, it's hard for you to confidently look at someone in your life who uses Windows or Mac OS and go, yes, I recommend this Linux, fully acknowledging that I'm going to be the tech support for it when you run into problems with it. Which I guess is part of why so many different distros do need to exist, even if that itself may continue to be a pain point for Linux and for me in particular. Enter any Linux distribution conversation, and you will find at least half a dozen people who are confidently declaring that their one distro to rule them all would have solved all of your problems, and it'll be half a dozen different distros. So clearly, right, like whether I'm expecting a Windows clone or whether I'm expecting something totally different, not all of them can be correct. And that's something that I find difficult anytime I encounter like a hyper passionate community. The Linux user base, I think if I had to summarize it, is weird because collectively, the community is actually really great. Yeah. And individually, they're really great.
Usually.
But it's like the little cliques, the little tribes.
What is this? The KDE Ocean Federal, that's pretty funny. Oh, it's from the Doi Meido.
That form. And then things get kind of toxic. But even that, I feel like it comes from a good place. Like, my goal of choosing a single distro for all of my machines was...
I really hope that I haven't been, like, negative in this video. I actually think it's a super cool thing that they're doing this, to be clear. I really don't want to be negative. But of course, I'm also making a video, so I have to, like, say things.
Was probably a mistake. And the people berating me for not choosing their better distro, the only reason they were going at me was because they wanted me to have a good Linux experience. Yeah. Not the right way to be welcoming. I have one last gripe. Display capture in Wayland, I wish it could be simpler. I ran into pairing issues with my Xbox controllers.
Display capture.
I really don't get the capturing thing in Wayland. Because I swear to God, on all of my machines, it always worked out of the box. I really wonder what's up with that. Really, it's just add screen capture, and that always worked to me. I don't know what's up with that.
Capture in general is a little bit clunky on the Linux side. I was like a little bit surprised you didn't do your streaming setup originally. That was probably the right call.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna go like 2 months without streaming.
Yeah. Well, no, I've been streaming and
Sure.
It's been fine, but I have to kind of reconfigure things. Like I'll open up OBS and every single one of my desktop capture sources will reload and be like, what do you actually want to capture? It doesn't remember.
Yes, that's very that's very fair criticism, and that's always because of portals. Again, Wayland doesn't want application to record things without your knowledge, so when you start the application asks, hey, can I record the screen? And, Wayland, it's not Wayland, but it's the compositor, asks you, hey, do you want to allow the application to record your screen? And if so, what do you want to share with them? And you might want to share the screen, part of the screen, a certain display, a certain application. You have all of these options that are meant for your security. But it is true that this doesn't get remembered between application launches. So every time you open OBS, I would show you, but I'm recording. You have to retell it, yes, I do want to share this particular application or this particular display. So that's annoying. That's completely true. I do believe that it's going to get fixed relatively soon. I've seen some work on that, but fair enough. I take that.
From last time, there might be a way to solve that. It
Not that I know of.
doesn't take me that much time to reconfigure it, but when I was back on Windows, I open OBS and I click Start Stream. It's just
Yes, but that's because Windows security sucks. I'm pretty sure that's the reason. I'm pretty sure applications can just record the screen on Windows. There's no security systems there. I don't know. I might be completely off. I don't use Windows.
It's just a little bit smoother, but it only takes me 30 seconds to fix it. It's not the end of the world, but that also lies in that area where it only takes me 30 seconds to fix it, so I'm not going to spend the half an hour that could make it so that I never have to spend the 30 seconds again, because that's probably possible.
Yeah, I'd say the like 30 to 120 seconds is the danger zone for problems. The I will never fix it time frame.
This is completely true. I have multiple 60 seconds problems that I never want to actually fix because it's just a few seconds, such as when I reboot my computer, since I'm using particularly unsupported software. This is a Microsoft Surface laptop with Linux, and sometimes I boot and the touchpad doesn't work, and I just have to reboot and it's gonna work. And I guess I could fix it. I don't know how, but I just have to reboot. Takes a few seconds. I don't care. Yeah.
Just do this forever.
On the subject of unfixable things, there was one final gripe for you, I believe.
Yeah, it was some software. The Proton compatibility layer has made incredible progress. Even actually during our last couple of months, it's improved a lot. But it can't do anything about developers who block their games on Linux. And there was one gaming experience that was really negative on Linux, but only partially because the game itself didn't work. You see, I was really excited to play Marathon. Wait, shush. I was excited, okay? I don't care what you think. Deal with it.
I don't even care.
I was just gonna say, there's no way he's played it.
I don't know what Marathon is. You might have guessed I'm not exactly a big games player. I play like Life is Strange and Outer Wilds.
No way.
Anyways, we started this challenge literally 2 days before Marathon came out. And of course, it has kernel level anti-cheat that does not work on Bazite. And I was really, really bummed out, and I kind of just ended up venting about it online. And I was shocked at the number of people who responded with levels of copium that can only be
Oh, come on, guys and girls and thems. Don't do this.
described as delusional, or who directly messaged me telling me to stop hamming up this drama so that way I could make Linux look bad.
Yeah.
Come on, this is very unnecessary and mean and very untrue. It's fair that somebody who just wants to play a game and is sad that they can't. Like, come on.
Why do you hate Linux, Elijah?
It's all my fault.
And
right?
hot dogs.
I love hamburgers. And it's a big problem because most people will not switch to Linux unless those games are working. And devs aren't going to prioritize the Linux development
unless the Steam Deck becomes really famous and a lot of people buy it. Come on.
If people don't switch over. I don't know the solution for this, but I do.
It's the Steam Deck and the Steam machine. Like, that's the solution. And I guess SteamOS being able to be installed on other machines, but mostly it's a Steam Deck and the Steam machine. And slowly we'll get there, I think.
I do know that staying quiet and pretending it's not a problem isn't the solution.
Yeah, you just shouldn't want to play that game.
No, I'm gonna get loud because I'm gonna put pressure on developers.
Yeah. And the good news is that more games work than don't on Linux. And I know both myself and Elijah have been trying more games because of that. Like, sometimes I'll be like,
I guess I'm really lucky that I never had that one game that I wanted to play and just couldn't. It never happened to me, thanks God.
be like, oh, does that work? And it's kind of exciting to even launch it. There's so much to explore both in the ecosystem itself and in the game.
And it can be really fun. Like, in a way, I do see where people were coming from on the Marathon thing. Sorry, I do. They just came at the person instead of talking through the issue.
That's fun.
You are not crazy if you want to play the third part of the Final Fantasy VII remake on the PlayStation 5. That's not crazy. You're not crazy if you want to play Marathon on a Windows machine. But it's also not crazy to see Linux as a platform separate from those things that supports these games. And framing everything in terms of what it doesn't support, I can see how people would find that kind of toxic. And I can see how you being blamed for a game you want to play, you might find that pretty toxic.
Yeah.
I'm going to both sides this one.
This is honestly what largely pushed me more and more towards LLMs throughout the process, is that I would be having, no, but seriously.
Damn, that's an absolute truth bomb here.
I'm being completely honest.
I talk to LLMs because people are worse.
Meta is so happy right now.
Okay, so the reason why was because I would be having fun with my experience. I would be messing around with things, enjoying toying with Linux. Like there was genuinely times where I would sit down at my computer fresh, excited to tackle something that I ran into the previous day because it reminds me of old school computing where you tinker with your system and you work on things. And I like that. I've been missing that for a very long time. And I'd be messing around.
By the way, I probably should move my head back down. Sorry about that. Yeah, let's do it all without cuts because you want to see the behind the scenes as well, don't you?
And then I'd go, oh, okay, I need to look up something, and I'd end up on some Reddit thread, and it's just 400 comments of people going at each other's throats, and I'm just like, what? Sorry, I was having a good time. I don't. What is happening here? A lot of the information on the internet right now is centralized on Discord, which is practically unsearchable, or Reddit, which is,
I think, inherently flawed.
A rough place to go. So like if I couldn't find something in a select kind of few different places, Level 1 text forum is a fantastic option there. If I could find something there, I would read it, I would go through there, that was a good experience. But if I searched something and it was like 7 Reddit threads in a row is all that came up, I would just be like, okay. And I would go over to an LLM and just try to figure it out.
One of the things I really miss from Windows is Windows Hello. Just easy, quick to set up biometric authentication.
Totally fair. There is a Linux alternative. I don't know if it's gonna mention it. Howdy, it's called. Kind of works. I did have it set up. You can do both login and like pseudo authentication. But yeah, I did try it again recently because this computer is supposed to have Windows Hello, and honestly, it does not work very well out of the box. So I didn't even keep it, which is sad, but. Yeah, fair enough. It would be a really cool, I think, for some distribution, especially companies that ship hardware with their own distribution, to have Windows Hello out of the box for devices that support it. That would be cool. There are a few Linux computers with IR sensors, so that would be the ideal target, but there is still some work to do. It has gotten better recently for like login and stuff, but yeah.
And this guy right here, shout out this guy, is a classic example of the kind of talk.
Yeah, I hate that. I use Linux and I also absolutely hate that. Yeah. But to be fair, negative karma, so apparently other people didn't like that either. And yeah, people seem to realize.
Toxic non-answer that is going to end people's personal Linux challenges. I do want facial login because I like the convenience.
Same, by the way.
This is not your choice. This is my choice.
I found that attitude as well sometimes with people telling me I don't want to do certain things or I should have these as solutions instead. For example, when I complained about not playing PUBG in part 1, do you know how many people commented saying, hey, use GeForce Now? And I'm like, dude, I'm trying to get away from Microsoft, whether it's because of the ad-infested hellhole that it's become, or subscription-based services, and you turn around and tell me to use a subscription-based service. Like, excuse me?
I am very stupid and I don't know what GeForce Now is.
Excuse me?
Hey, I meant to check in with you.
Yeah.
My non-native Teams app actually worked really well for me the whole month. Until the very end, when I ended up in a login authentication loop that I couldn't get out of. And that happened to be when I was reformatting to Windows anyway. But I was wondering, how did yours end up working?
Mine ended up improving pretty significantly over the course of the challenge.
Got
So
it.
we had like opposite arcs.
Nice.
Most of my issues with it, I think, really are just Teams.
I mean, just don't use Microsoft Teams. Switch to something else. I'm kidding. This is a joke. I mean, don't if you can. I hate Microsoft Teams, but I was joking.
All right. This brings us to the big moment.
Yeah.
One at a time, starting with Eli. Who is staying on Linux?
I kind of feel like nobody's gonna stay on Linux. If anyone, it might be Linus, but I don't think so.
I am, but not on Bazite.
Oh.
I'm actually going to be swapping over to KDE.
I don't get the choice, but I'll take it.
Immutable operating system ended up coming back to bite me in the butt a little more
Fair enough.
That might be a problem.
in the later half. Saying that, I am going to be dual booting.
Yeah.
I'm going to be trying.
That's completely fine, and I think that we should more often tell people to dual boot with Windows to just try out Linux, and instead of just throwing them on Linux and expecting it to work out of the box. With dual boot, you get some time to try things out without the anxiety of, did I just lose all of my Windows stuff?
Trying to make KDE my primary, but as someone who wants to stream the latest and greatest games, I can't have it be an issue and a block to not
Completely fair.
be able to play Marathon. Windows is going to be a dedicated, basically just Steam launcher, so that way I can play some games that don't work on Linux.
Well, you do some video editing as well, right?
I do. That would be another thing. Yeah, I had issues with video editing in part 1 and part 2. I just ended up paying video editors.
Okay, that's pretty funny. I would love, okay, is not gonna watch my video, but if you are watching my video out of chance, I would actually love to know why KDE Live isn't doing the trick for you, because I have actually edited short films and actual professional videos for work as well with KDE Live, and I'm very happy that it exists. It has some significant limitations that I'm aware of, and I'm trying to, improve on them with the application that I said I'm building. So any feedback on that would be very much welcome. And I'll take this time to also say that yes, I'm still working on the application, even though my last update video was from a month ago. I just had some, it's just taking time because obviously, but I now have rendering and recording anything working, so that's cool. And very soon you're also gonna get audio. Whoa.
So wait, you weren't willing to subscribe to GeForce Now, but you would hire a person as a workaround.
Yeah.
Completely fair, by the way.
Hey, I gave someone a job.
One last remaining question. You said you're having fun. Is that the primary reason you're switching? Is because it's been more fun?
No, the primary reason I am staying mainly on Linux is because Microsoft.
Yes. Fuck Microsoft.
When I have been actually only on Windows for the last 2 months because I didn't want to kind of give away that this is what I was going to do. My time on Windows has been really frustrating. Dude. There's been a lot of moments, like Linus pointed out, where I'd turn the computer on and it would bring me through 3 or 4 prompts, and I'm just like...
All full of dark patterns,
I don't care about being edged for Microsoft Edge. Stop it. Let me just play my video games, please.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm staying, and I'm staying on both systems.
Nice.
So I switched my laptop over for this challenge to Mint. That has...
So I guess that exactly the opposite of what I was thinking is gonna happen, i.e. Linus is gonna be the only one back on Windows.
Has honestly been the
Mint? Seriously?
biggest W. There has been zero loss. I have had zero drawback to Windows. I think it is only better. Awesome. But a lot of that comes down to the use case is so simple.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting in a browser. Every once in a while, I need to sign a PDF. Every once in a while, I need to open a document. Both those things I can easily do. Other than that, I'm sitting in a browser. Every once in a while, I'll be on a plane and I want to play Slay the Spire. No problem. It can do all that kind of stuff. I've literally never ran into an issue. But anytime I'm using another laptop on Windows, I'm I just wish I was using my machine. So that's a clear W, and I don't honestly think right now that I'm ever going back. On the desktop, it's a bit of a mixed bag, more similar to yours. So I have divided my machine kind of in half at this point.
Yeah.
So I have...
I think actually we're going to do a video on his kind of unique dual boot setup, so make sure you get subscribed.
I was given a 1 terabyte for this challenge, which is actually running the distro.
You know, you're supposed to give that back.
Yeah.
That's staying in there forever.
To be fair, I was going to do the same thing.
Yeah! Thanks, Linus.
This is the payment for us having to do this for the last month.
As for me, I was very surprised to discover that I could. Linux is ready. And I think soon I will be too. I ran into so many moments throughout the last over a month. I mean, I didn't even bother removing my Linux installs after 30 days. I was pleasantly surprised so many times by how well something worked. But the compatibility barrier is still a tough one. If you're willing to be a Linux gamer, it's easier than it's ever been. There is so much to play that works either perfectly or well enough on Linux that if you start with, here's the platform that I have, I want something to do, it's easy. It's a very console-like experience, and I actually mean that in a really positive way. However, I don't buy many consoles, and I do almost none of my gaming on the ones that I do. And if you want the broadest compatibility, and you don't want to think about it at all, Windows is still the king, especially if there's a social element to your gaming, and if your group happens to want to play something that isn't Linux pilled.
Like Marathon.
Another aspect of this, and
This is, by the way, especially one occasion where I would say, have you thought about dual booting? Because completely fair. And by the way, you can like very easily have a single like drive for files for both Windows and Linux, so that you don't even have to transfer files between the operating systems. You can just boot into the systems that you need and do your work, and files are going to be the same. So maybe that could be a way to start getting into the waters of Linux.
And the reason that I actually did just switch my system is because as a reviewer, the vast majority of the stuff that I need to do is Windows native. And so if I have a new Logitech SuperStrike X2 mouse or something, and I'm supposed to be using it and evaluating it, and what? I'm just going to give only the Linux perspective and hope that the third
Yes, obviously. No, just kidding.
party app that maybe will interface with this brand new hardware is good. No, come on. Be real. I need to be on Windows. I need to install the native app so that I can evaluate this hardware. And that happens a lot for me. With everything I just said out of the way, though, I'm not ready to go back to vanilla Windows either. It has been so refreshing to not be bothered a single time over the last couple of months that I happily extended my time without even thinking about it. And
It has been over 3 months now, and Linus is still running Pop! OS at home.
I
Nice.
think that my happy place is going to be to try and find the middle ground. I want to hang out in the Windows debloating community for a bit. Then, if I can't make that work, I might distro hop for a few months and settle on Linux. I sincerely hope that by that time, Valve is ready with an NVIDIA-capable SteamOS, because I am like super SteamOS pilled still. I did end up with that in my home theater room, and it just like, it's the most console-like of all of the gaming experiences on PC, and it's just pretty freaking cool. And now here's a cool
I mean, this is as good as it gets for us Linux folks out of these videos. Like, it convinced 2 out of 3 people, and the third is like, yeah, I have to go back to Windows due to very valid work reasons, but also I want to debloat it, and if it doesn't work, then I'm gonna switch to Linux, and also I'm gonna keep using Linux at home. Like, that's as good as it gets. I'm very, very happy to hear this.
segue to our sponsor.
And I guess this is it. Is there anything else in the outro? Let's see.
If you guys enjoyed this video, maybe go watch through the whole playlist. This one, and then also the first time we did it, if you want to see just how
Yeah,
far
I think that they've done like 6 videos on this topic. And I've done 2-hour videos. Nice. Am I gonna edit this? Probably not, because I don't have time. But yeah, I think that was really cool. Thanks everybody for following along, and I will say a couple of things on this channel. And I'm currently working on a few videos devlogging my progress on the video editor and everything else Plasma Studio, as I mentioned, so that's still in the works. I'm also soon gonna announce a very cool project that's gonna also take a lot of time, and that has already started, so stay tuned for that. And generally speaking, if you're interested in Linux and free software and you don't know who I am, why are you 2 hours into this? Thank you. And I just try to do cool Linux things. I should also get a new laptop to review with Linux very soon. So cool stuff are happening, and you can support this channel by like doing a donation, video links in the video description, and or even a recurring membership, recurring donation that gives you a couple of extra content, just a couple of things, nothing special, it's just to donate. And that was everything. Thank you for following, and I'm so happy that the Linux challenge for Linus has gone that well. Go on, let's be happy.